was gonna make any difference because there a lot of people are complaining that they can't hear online. But if you're gonna share a presentation, I wonder if you can join. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get anybody online today. Okay. Let's leave it like this and they can well share the screen, right? Set it up here. Yeah, but someone's plugging a laptop. We can use one for sure, because it. Can you put yours up there somewhere? Is there a plug-in? P52.
The people were at the big conference, was it Impact?
Which
Here.
100 people. We're just about the right size. Have you ever been out there? It's a little dated facility. But okay, so this is my please. Beautiful, right? Might put it there. I think that we figured that out. It's sort of. Is ID code for Zoom? Yes, you got it, Christine. Something. Yeah, they're gonna see online first. All of that.
That's in the district.
Oh. Just in case we have questions. You bring the election form?
Yeah.
Good. You know, one thing I thought is putting a box saying just vote for all,
Oh, that was.
but. Alec, the newest one of them, is quite upset that he can't vote. Because he's in Bellevue. He thought that we were gonna vote last week, so he switched his meetings. Yeah. I told you it was gonna be challenging. If I would have reminded him, he would have. About it. I did go on Amazon and I tried to think about like Chris Jacobson and see what suit he was wearing, but I decided not to. I'm gonna go very basic like Lance. I'm gonna wear probably a hat that I can take off. I'm gonna wear a hat. So good for you guys that are into themes. But they always have to have a theme.
All of that for years, like they would change the year and. Before. Too much.
You bought a little magnetic sign for your car?
I did, yeah, yeah, I made some for kids that say, Aquafest facilities, it's got the fish in a hard hat. Yeah, I mean, it's good, we met with the Boys and Girls Club. So we're redoing kind of the ride situation this year, so we're gonna open up a bunch of parking, so we're gonna charge the vendors $10 a day. And the club's a fundraiser.
Nice.
In turn, they are going to, they can't staff up to do the green team, so I gave them a schedule what I need for the. Because they've got a full-on, youth summer program, youth director. And we just need, 4 or 5 people through kind of different shifts throughout the day. We pay $250 a day, so that'd be $750 towards the Boys and Girls Club. And then they also said that they might be able to get 1 or 2 people to run the Vanderwing to help with shuttle services. So we just needed Friday, Saturday, part of the day, Sunday at Ebenezer and high school. And then in turn, we, kicked down a little money for that as well. So it could end up making a few $1,000s by, Yeah, well, it's pretty interesting. I said, I need the parking lot. I mean, I serve for the rides, but we, in the far back area around the side of the building, put it up through there. And then they have bunkhouse trailers that they park back there, and that's where they kind of live and grill and eat, and so we need that area. The other stuff we can figure it out now that we have Main Street. And then where he kind of made a fatal mistake was, he didn't, obviously I would expect him to put together Rachel Horner, Chris Jacobson as husband and wife, right? And so she was trying to get a hold of him for the row club event. And didn't call. I went in, dropped stuff off, called, no response. And so finally, when I went, I'm gonna say, listen, I really need to get a hold of Joe. Is there somebody above me? Because we gotta get this thing hammered out, We've kind of already missed this whole row club thing. And so he calls and he says, well, I sent Rachel Horner, a message and blah, 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 blah. And I said this and this and that and this and that. And so Rachel forwarded me the voice message that was a text. And I'm like, well, Joey, just for reference, all you did was say, call me back. And she's tried calling you back. All of a sudden, Aquafest, oh, we got this totally covered. Yeah, you can have this, you can do that.
We got him,
Be careful what you say because stuff sits around in these voicemails and emails forever.
well, if you're gonna charge $10, we might do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, it's just a nice way to give the Boys and Girls Club a little bit of. They literally between what we think we can give them in their participant fest, some out of our pocket, but the majority of it being their parking at $10 a day. We think we get probably 30 or 40 stalls. We have 70. Well, we're sold out, so it's 75 vendors. That's over 3 days at $10 a day. That's not a bad little chunk of change. And Joey's like, we could live fund our entire youth field trip program this summer just by this. There you go. 3 days and you've got your entire summer.
And if we did it for 13 weeks, 14 weeks.
Yeah. So let me see here. I'm gonna try to find.
We're not gonna do the cornhole, the lady that ran it.
Yeah. No,
No
no.
longer and organizations. She's the one that made it work. She promoted it, everything.
Yeah.
I called her after we talked, Barry, and she still hasn't got back, so.
Well, I told the chamber that we're not gonna do. Voters are gonna do it. So I think they're just gonna put out some boards. And just let it happen.
Mr. Elections, grab a ballot.
If you receive it by midnight tonight, you can still.
No mail-in voting allowed, does we? No mail-in voting.
It's like an opposition day. If you want to raise your hand, it'd be great. To nominate somebody? I think we can nominate Paul for you, chair. Okay. And if he declines, then he can have that. Oh, it's a nice place. Yeah.
Oh, we got Bo Howe running, huh? BOW, Bo Howe.
Did I type that in? Hello? Okay. Oh, yeah.
We got a new name for
Remember, he gets paid double dues though.
him. But you got him correct on the other one. Let's see. Oh.
Are they cushy though?
Yeah, but yeah, a little bit too fishy.
Very.
Yeah,
Let's give them to you.
Not as
I have to like, I have to leave. briefly.
so you got into.
Guess there's probably people.
What? Yeah. Well, we sent them a ton of emails. Oh, yeah. What's going on? A/B testing.
AP testing.
They're doing it next week as well, but not until 11 o'clock.
Okay, so someone has to share, turn on the share screen.
Lance is someplace. You know, you could help replace Ron Rasmussen's job by giving some citizen.
Hey, how are you?
Huh?
Yeah. I'm here, there's the oceans and.
Yes. You? Miss Sharon, can you share?
If you send me your presentation.
Yeah, I'm not.
Is it easier? It's not.
If
It's up to you.
Derby.
Just have to sit up. I've got you.
Yes.
So,
So what am I sharing? No, it's not turned on for me either. Gary, is that the secretary's computer or is that yours?
Fine, I can go down and get. Your car.
Let me just. This is.
Yeah, but
It's not that.
Sorry.
Like. You. There is not going to be a drug release.
that's when. Berkeley, we got the-
Fine.
Please grab a ballot. Yeah,
I used to do it for me.
I heard you talking. I'm gonna need that. Where's your wife? This weird transition on this business. And So late, she's interested.
It's causes community. Let me see here, here's the. Somebody was sitting. Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
If I don't want to go back next week for that.
They're just giving us like coffee. Free. We're bigger than something you don't know. But it's sweet. I can't put a spot. It's does.
Yeah, I know, but it's, I don't think I know.
Just put it there.
Never, because I think they get my head with. Another, you know, yeah, yeah, it's very quick, but it was like two different. And she has. Take a photo. It's perfect.
No one.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be here.
Brad, you're on. We got. It's. So the guy who bought it. The other thing. Three. Yeah, place here. Something bad. Third. Oh, now I've got for 5 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the 10? Oh, 5. Share the big. Sure. Yeah. Basically, grab a mallet. Mine does. All right. Big ball. Sure.
Writing is so funny.
Made a mistake, okay? It happened like. Great guy. No. No, because, now I'm going to. And we get. Thank you.
Any money to get. And that. What they think, you're the property, 5 feet here. Oh, here, you want to know that? Oh, no. That's what I was like. That was like. It doesn't play. It's fine.
Spider-Man.
No. So good. It's a little bigger, by the way. Okay, so Prince Jacobson is gonna tell us about how fast in case you don't know anything about it. He, so Mariah shows up on some meeting, so he worked some findings in that class. So, so birthdays, you got Joe Munger, 5'11", Rayner, his birthday, 5'14", spouse's birthday, Taylor's birthday, basically, I hope Anthony.
Well, thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. Here for me, I was gonna call you, but I can't, you know, you got a couple days still, so you're good. And then as far as and she's 9, so no, this I have mine.
5:34.
That's the thing. I don't have this, and you know, it's the problem.
Yeah, let's see. I was in 15.
He is a great woman, and he is. Supposed to be sharing.
Yeah, this is why I had to say something last week. It's my birthday this week.
Happy birthday.
I should have gone last week.
It should be this week, if it's just.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I mean. So. Yeah, go on to the point.
And let's start looking at you. Yeah.
And then programs. 35 years. Yeah.
And well, that's
Very good. Sorry, like it's
No. Okay.
Secretary here.
A board meeting is coming Wednesday. Fireside at the brewery this coming Tuesday from 7 to 9. Ron's not gonna be there, I'm gonna be there if I get out of the food bank board meeting in time. And so the president team is a really good shot, so we'll be there. Last week I told you there's a 21-year-old candidate. And somebody needs to go have a talk with him. We talked about maybe trying to get him into Rylands, but nobody kind of set up and said anything. It might be, we've been a long time since we've sponsored a Ryla candidate. So needs to reach out to that person, somebody in membership, and go from there. And then today is AP testing, that's why we're not at the school. They're gonna do AP testing next week, but not until 11 o'clock. So we're okay for AP or to be at the school district next Friday. That's it.
And I didn't say that there is coffee up here, there's muffins, water, and such. So help yourself to anything.
He got out early this morning. Oh, you see. So.
Everything concerned.
I'm really, there's all events I'm busy with, but I will get something set up for after hours later this month. We did get a card out to Chris. And if anybody needs anything, please let me know, and that's great.
Foundation Bob.
Yes, I have a list of people who've been naughty that haven't made their contribution. Including my associate here. Well, some gotta be.
Yeah. Yeah. Just let them know. Membership is not. Back up. We're gonna go here. Spread it. Here, so.
To clarify, they're on lottery, but they're automatically.
I do. Okay, everybody grab the ballot when you get in. Get it back here. One thing, if I'm gonna do this verbally, all I have is to share an interest in you share. And yeah, but I think we should nominate him. He showed an interest, I told him what the position is, and he hasn't gotten back.
Yeah, right.
But I think, why don't we nominate those in favor of holding you chair? And if he declines, we'll give him that option. Okay, one more thing after the ballot. These people have stepped up, put their names forward. And really appreciative. There's some new members that have stepped forward. Should we read it for the people that are online? You want to, or do you want me to?
Either.
I need it. All right, President Kel Pegram, President nominee Eileen Leprig. Speech. Okay, Secretary Gary. Club Services. Eileen, you're gonna play a dual role.
At least for a year, right?
No, like what my role would be this.
I'm nominee, I think it's okay, but President-elect.
Yeah.
And where you get my hand.
Yeah.
You know, get out.
Listen,
Community Service, Aaron is online. Foundation is Bob out. International Services, Chris Fallow. All we said for youth. Public image is Rand Salvin. Membership, Alex Shaler. And then the foundation board, president-elect would be Raquel, treasurer Cliff, secretary Gary. And then board of director positions, Bob Howell being the foundation chair. Brian Ruth, past president. And Rand Southam. And scholarship chair, I put that on the foundation, because that's where the money comes from, is Don Iverson. All right, so in addition to those people, we need co-chairs for Aquafest. I can't explain what that means because I've never been in that co-chair position, but it has been like getting the volunteer list put up on the website, having people sign up for shifts, organizing and setting up the booth, which many of us will help with. What else? Taking the cash at the end of the evening, which Tracy has agreed, she's done it the last couple of years, and we live really close, so if there needs to be some trade-off there, I can step up for that. But is anybody willing to help us share and take responsibilities to set up our for the weekend of Aquafest? You'll help? And Anthony?
so he's looking for coordinators, not that physical.
Correct.
We can screw this up together.
See, well, so I think we can do, Tracy's got some historic knowledge to help us out as well. So we'll figure out how to do the sign up sheets, going on the website. Gary, the booth. Okay. Booth's been reserved. Did you find anything out about that?
Permit, and then I'll also talk to them.
Okay. Up in Granite.
Are we gonna have an entry in the parade? We'll be doing citizen of the year.
We should do a citizen of the year, we've done it.
And first Rotarian with us.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I'm planning. I'm planning.
We should make Brett citizen of the year. Oh, really? I mean, that would be a great man on back over here. Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right, thank you.
All right, can you hear us? Aaron. Aaron?
If it's right, please.
No, Aaron. All right, take one of these bus ones. Okay. So is this a resolution?
This is the secretary one, which should be the host for the meeting. But it's, I can't figure out how to, I'm trying to share from here. It doesn't. Does it? That's the host.
Just make rules. And Mr. Food. Yeah. That's about this table.
Last Friday, I retired. I think it's the last time I'm pretty sure. I don't know, according to my work. And the other one is for our granddaughter, Delaney, sophomore at Lake King High School. She was at the South Sound Invitational Track Championships last weekend and was ranked number 9 at
That's not you.
PR 126. Was nominated as athlete of the year. Athlete of the week, I'm sorry, the week. So with every online and vote for them, he's really trailing from Broken Cascade, who has got a lot of people double voting. Anyway, it's really explores. It's wonderful young lady and.
How long has it been voting on? Yeah.
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 Anyway.
What? Happy Friday, revival. That's all I got.
You can Venmo the hat too. I will Venmo the hat. I'm really happy because I brought in 2 manufacturing facilities in the state of Washington. I kick ass on my Army biscuit bits. Yeah. And yesterday, the Department of Army Promotion Board has selected me as. So I assume people or die. Please, but bird beetle.
Six, I'm happy we interview team all lined up for early next week for scholarships. It's got all the kids said that in their times. It's all coming to each other. 6 for Pierce and Bob and Solve and Gary, and then Anthony is on hold or on call in case anything doesn't happen there. And so, but we've got it set up 4 people on each day and then 4 people. Trying to keep it from being too, intimidating. And students, should be fun.
Friday meeting, is that?
Well, yeah, the Friday meeting is between, and that is the teams on it, it's like the schools.
So the school is doing it on a weekend this year, very good. The school's doing it on a weekend this year, their event
They often do.
on Saturday. Should be a weeknight.
President-elect Lance.
And I'm gonna get things done, we for one together, it's again. If you park out the whole. We in our office with our office bar, it is just job and bustling with activity. And also want to thank the Sherwood Board and Tracy for hosting me up today a retreat. Great conversation about the time for it. The organization and getting to be here.
President. Gary.
Here's hoping I don't have jury duty.
That would be nice.
Superior Court. Yeah, we would.
It's good to see everyone, do that seek off last week down there, we hang out with my brother, I haven't seen him for a while, and so it's usually a girl like Stevens, his wife decided to move to Tennessee, it's not get a lot. Well, whatever, so I don't get to see him that much, so.
Cool. All right. Ladies, Taylor.
Say nothing even tomorrow. Looking forward to getting your stuff. I'm excited about the gala tomorrow as well. We have a full house and great volunteers and everyone has stepped up. Thank you so much. I'm excited. I want the side one.
True. So when you're at the gala, make sure you look at the auction because we're going to be doing the same. Also, big shout out to Jessica, you guys, gentlemen, you need another big gift, get out of the, out of the gift. Jessica's business, a facial, it was so relaxing and we had such great conversation that totally get your wife some self-love because that's what it is. And that's such a great.
She also has a basket of cake.
Thank you for that. Just happy for, got to spend last Sunday, the new twins and their parents for my birthday. It's great, got to see the new, exhibit with red pandas, tree game, all of that. Wonderful way to spend.
Chris Couple, here's for helping Steve get his promoted in the most natural way possible. But gotta move on. A little unknown fact that Jim's brother he mentioned his name was Butch, as they called him, Butch. And it turns out we moved to Lake Stevens and we talked to my father-in-law and he goes, "This looks really familiar." I was, "That was the Butch guy. Butch guy was my roommate in college." Ah, that was Jim's brother. My father-in-law. Yeah. And it sounds like you had amazing conversation. I have none of that when it goes to Tracy, because usually a bunch of stuff in my mouth. So you can sit down and have a relaxing conversation. A person is performing some sort of procedure on you. I've yet to experience that at your place. He wasn't there. Conversation and you want to just contribute so much. Yes. Yes.
It's never really difficult.
Yes.
Project from Lacey.
So last night, great. Last week, unfortunately, David. They headed out of town, so great conference, lots of good connections there, and we'll share a little bit more all along here. So good luck tomorrow night for your gala and sort of attend.
So, I apologize, I on my head, I can't remember all.
Thing too.
What it was, yeah. But, I'm gonna ask Jane to explain to us, 'cause I don't remember exactly, what our district governor presented you. You better come and get your chance.
Thank you. I was honored and recognized with my third Paul Harris Fellow.
What was it for?
For kind of working in the background with the Peace Arts Journal and other
That's
business.
very well done, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
The district conference and big pictures everywhere, so.
Yep.
He walked into the room as she had already started to give him the award. And so he even called him out, and he didn't realize until I think you got to your chair that she was talking about you.
Just given one to Robin Curtis, who chaired the conference, and that was nice. Then she started talking about me and the other guys wanted around. So. I'm trying to surprise, so thank you. Yeah. Our scout groups are doing great. I was with them this evening, getting them ready for a bike that they're in. I got shot in the PT barn, north end tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We've been on the trail for a while. We have a few young ladies in the girls group that are working on their search project with Ragged Eagle. I did last about eating some rain gardens. We got a couple of chances, so I appreciate that. They're gonna, this young lady's doing the rain garden next to the Bayview Trail south of 12th Street Southeast. There tends to be a lot of water collection. Help create a quail to kind of draw that water away. The other young lady's working with the organization of Marysville that supports veterans, folks that have PTSD and other issues. Cool.
All right, Chris, you're up, buddy.
All right, well, thank you for allowing me to introduce you to Aquafest. I'm sure nobody's ever heard of it. I'll make this kind of quick, right? This is just really, well, I'll just say it's pretty low bottom of the barrel when you're asking me to talk about it. No. But thank you for that. Really, the kind of the goal is just to kind of give you an idea of what Aquafest is about, what it takes to put Aquafest on, how long you can do it. And then I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. A lot of you saw the challenges we dealt with earlier this year that we've been able to mitigate this year, but I can't say what's been with the last year. So, okay, let's see here. My computer's frozen. I love it. There we go. All right, so. Music, fireworks have been a little bit interesting. Cost of insurance is going up. So now to put on a 15-minute show costs about $25,000. That seems like an awful lot of money to be spent in a fundraising scenarios and have something last that short, especially a week after the 4th of July when the lake is already going to be completely littered with tons of fireworks supplies left over. I don't know about the best, but it's probably not the best thing for Aquafest to do to contribute to that. So I think we're probably needing to see that. If the donors that are the private donors want to continue to do it, by all means, they are going to contribute to Aquafest. And then the other way they're going to do the fireworks, I'll take their money. We'll definitely move on, but we're not quite sure. Just a brief idea, it's about 57 plus years strong. There's a little bit of back and forth on what the Historical Society says and what was in the paper. Aquafest started with the ski tournament and eventually became Aquafest. I think about 4 or 5 years after that is when they kind of officially branded it. So we say 57 plus years because there are some people in the community that like the fact that they think it started earlier. It's 57 plus years. We're seeing it anywhere high end about 30,000 people. We say 20 to 30,000 people that come through on the 3.5 days. As most people might or might not know, we do open up early on Thursday. Typically the carnival is ready to operate sometime around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and then full day on Friday, Saturday, and 3/4 of the days. So we can consider it really 3 to 3 in a big event. Yeah, some of the things that I mentioned. So the children's parade, that's going to be on Friday. It's just a great little thing to see these young kids get dressed up in fun little costumes. And we roll into most likely movies in the park. We are not gonna have a big TV this year. Rand has sold that. So we are gonna be stuck with a small projector, screen and projector from the city. So that means doing an earlier thing for the younger kids is probably not feasible this year. We might have to do something that's more in the evening hours. We're working through that. And just give you an idea, to play the movie in the park for one day, we have to rent it from a company called Snake. We have to rent the copyright rights to be able to play that movie. They charge about $750 for that one 2.5 hour viewing. So it does become kind of tough. The boat parade this year, we're gonna put like QR codes around the different viewing parts of the city. So Swin Beach, Lucette Beach, Davies Beach, London throughout the park, it's gonna have a QR code. We're asking the people that want to participate this year to upload a picture of their boat. Our theme is 250, obviously, because our 250th year anniversary. And then individuals all the way through Sunday afternoon can scan the QR code and vote on their most favorite boat. So we thought that would be a little more. Carnival vendors, we are officially full. We shut down our vendor registration yesterday. I believe the count is 75 vendors plus food trucks. That does not include the few food trucks that will be up at the car show. So we do have a car show and we have brought back the $50 sailboat races this year. So if people remember what it was like back in the day. You built a small little sailboat, you went out and did a little race of some kind. So we have that. Person is cheering that, spearheading that. Lance Dennis is bringing the car show back up to Pilchuck again this year. Last year, it was a great event. He had a ton of vehicles there, and that thing just keeps growing and growing. So we're very fortunate to have Lance and the company he works for, Central Welding. It just happens to have an owner that is a big car guy, so they usually include some of their vehicles into the Grand Parade.
Question on the floor.
Yep.
Family Fun Fest, have you figured out what's gonna happen there?
Yeah, so believe it or not, Dwellers is part of that as well. So we're kind of working through increasing Susan's budget. I just need to figure out how to increase Susan's capacity to not make it jump and make it kind of a little bit more. Shredded up paper is probably not the same as going for pennies in the hay, so. But we've identified and said that it was one of the most high level feedback we got was more things for the younger families to do. So we're gonna try to work with the vendors, the food vendors specifically, to say, hey, if you're doing them all these gourmet hamburgers, do you think you can maybe make one small thing that's the family special? So maybe it's a smaller burger, maybe it's 3, but it's not the fancy stuff, and it's something that's more affordable. So a young family, either if they're together or not, have kids, they can afford to go spend $30 or $35 to get kind of a fun meal, opposed to the $18 or $20 that they're charging for some of these gourmet hamburgers these days. So we're trying to work with that. I can't guarantee they're going to do it. I think it would a lot of goodwill and support. So I think that some, but that's kind of what we're working on the backside.
Okay, and you can still sign up for booths for that?
Or yes, yeah, okay. Let's see. So Apple Fest, Bill's community. We did a little bit of an impact study with the 30,000 people roughly that come through. In conjunction with the money that they spend, the tax revenue directly back to the city. It's a pretty good sized little chunk of money. So it is a great thing, not only for the city to want to kind of be our partner in this, but for the community as a whole. It does support the local businesses. We do have some challenges with Jay's Market. They've had a couple of thefts or some unruly kids, believe it or not. That's still teenagers, a little bit unruly from time to time. So I'm working with a guard company to provide them guard service Friday and Saturday, midday to early evening, like an 8-hour shift, somewhere maybe 12 to 8, 11 to 7, something that's in that witching hour. Can't do anything late at night. I mean, they're just have to be more mindful of that. But during the high volume incidents where their store can get flooded with people who want to be able to not only protect the store, but protect the parking lot. So it's a good feedback we got from Days, and it's unfortunate they had a little bit of an issue, but we're trying to do what we can do. So it's 100% volunteer run. There's a misconception by a lot of people that this is a city run event. It is not. It is a city partnership event where they provide what they call in-kind donations back to Aquafest. Probably, we need to figure out a better strategy for next year, because the city says that it costs them $60,000 out of their pocket to help offset or put on Aquafest. I haven't really figured out those numbers yet. 30 of them is in the police presence, but we gotta figure that out, because that's just not attainable to pay the city 60 million.
Isn't that offset by the tax revenue they get for the businesses? And then some?
We are okay. Everything, provide semi-free food, we do all that because we like the community, we love the community.
Thank you.
Every dollar gets reinvested into this event. There's nothing that gets paid to any kind of site or anybody, it just all goes back in. So when we say that we revenue $35,000 at $35,000 of profitability last year, what that means is we have $35,000 in bank to help offset the $100,000 we really have to kind of bring in through sponsorships and then registration. I think we're currently sitting, we set ourselves a goal about 75 grand, we're about 30% there. That doesn't include the vendor booths or those individuals, right? That's other revenue that comes in. We set a goal of $75,000 for sponsorships, because if we did the fireworks, we knew that was 15 to 20 grand of that. So that's where we kind of came up with that overall budget. What it takes to put it on, it's a tremendous amount. You gotta go through all the permits with the city, income donation forms, writing up exactly the routes of our parades. If you bring in the fireworks, it has to be controlled by DOT because it's explosive ordinance, and so we have routes that we have to follow and flaggers that have to be there, all sorts of stuff. Entertainment, you've got to go through Ron Stubbs, who sets up the entertainment from point A to point B. It puts we give a very minimal small budget to work. We give about $10,000 to $12,000 to put on all the entertainment that you see there. So all the bands, everything, that's all covered under that small amount of budget. So he falls in a lot of favors. He does a great job. Yeah, he's just a great infrastructure. We keep getting more and more requirements from the Snohomish County Health Department. They are requiring what's called the Higgies, a hand washing station. They're requiring X amount of porta potties per. So it ends up becoming a large chunk of our budget just to get porta potties, hand washing stations, all the stuff that goes in, plus the power that the city charges us for, the spider boxes we have to get, all the tools, just a lot. Marketing, I have to call out Ashley Drager, who's a member here as well. Her husband's recently started at Boeing, so it's hard for her to get here, but her and Cindy have been just critical, just paramount in getting stuff done. We completely rebranded the website. If nobody's seen it, it's good. It's a lot better. Tremendous back-end engine for automation. So next year, if we were able to pull this off, a lot of the stuff that we've done in reaching out and saying, hey, be a sponsor, thank you for last year. We can start pushing that out in January, February. And even created now, I'll show you towards the end, a little way to sign up for a newsletter to kind of be kept up. So funding, free to attend, zero ticket revenue, 60% sponsors, 20% and 20%, kind of even it out our 100% allocation of how we have to put this together. A lot of the other carnivals, like up in Stanwood, you enter through a gate and they charge a ticket revenue, and that revenue goes straight to that event as expenses. We don't have that. It's an open air forum, so we don't have any way to capture any money except through vendors. And the only revenue that we pull in is Starship, the Aqua Run. That's really the two main factors, because we don't take a percentage of sales from any of the vendors that are there. We charge them a small stipend to be there, but we don't say at the end of the day, okay, show me your receipts, and we take 10%. So it's good and bad in some respects. Everyone wants to know why we push so hard for sponsors. It's pretty simple. Covers the cost, keeps it free, allows us to continue to grow, and we keep on that community legacy. It's really the four pillars of what we're trying to deal with here when we reaching out to the sponsor. We just never had a really good way to say why be a sponsor. I'm not asking Rotary for anything. You guys do so much for this community, so much for Aquafest. This isn't a sponsor pitch. This is just more of you guys having a little bit of education and knowledge to be able to, in your day-to-day conversation or your social media stuff,
Right.
maybe why you want to reply back and say, this is a great opportunity. What you get from our sponsor benefits, it's growing. brand visibility, community goodwill, partnership. Right, you can see the stuff that's up there. And in years past, we did some banners, we maybe did a small little thing on our website, but now it's much more branded, it's much more out there, much more visible, it's reaching more people, we're doing more. Thank you to this sponsor, thank you to that sponsor. So it does get your name out. You're never gonna grow your business and become a bajillionaire sponsoring Aquafest. But it is kind of nice to get your name out there, and over the course of time, it does build that brand, that name with Lake Stevens. I won't bother you with this, but this is online. It's very simple to figure out what you want to do from the package perspective. Here's the meat and potatoes of it, because I see this with Rotary as well. Just today, talked about we need volunteers, we need help. It isn't really truly a tough thing to fulfill. I think we've got about 22 people that have gone to our website now and signed up as volunteers. Our volunteer coordinator is completely MIA. We haven't seen or heard from her in 3 months. So that means Monday, we gotta pull the executive team together and figure out how to carve out responsibilities to schedule our volunteers. Because we know if we upset our volunteers, they're not gonna do it again next year. So they're a really huge prize asset to us outside of everybody else, but just the fact that they're donating their time. We do think we have a pretty good idea of what we're gonna do for Green Team this year with Boys and Girls Club and potentially moving people around in vehicles from a shuttle perspective and parking for our vendors. We kind of took a little bit of I don't know, I'm not gonna let you use the parking lot potentially maybe from the Boys and Girls Club to parlay it into, hey, here's our plan, we're gonna give you a bunch of money, and boy, they jumped on that. So if you want to volunteer, website, pretty simple, easy, all automated, you'll receive some documentation back that you've requested to volunteer. Just take a look at it if you'd like, but it is definitely substantially easy.
Really?
Oh, it's way easier than the past. Path was like lists, and so now it's all back end stuff. We've got everything in the back end. MCAP has done an amazing job on this. They're one of our main sponsors. That is doing it in kind and completely done. It's so over my head. I mean, if I looked at it right now, I would tell you that I have a whole bunch of messages that I haven't even looked at yet. Yeah, 10 this morning, just on top of this. Because of all this stuff. But we created something called the Awareness Challenge, right? I'm still, believe it or not, hearing from people, I didn't know what West was gonna do. So I put the post out that, hey, this is an issue, we got this problem with the city. Everybody retained that information. Nobody saw the phone. We're good, we got past that issue. So we just want to make sure that everybody's aware, and the biggest way to get awareness is through our own individual conversations and social media. So it is happening, we're full steam ahead. We just don't know about one aspect of it, the fireworks. Everything else, full steam. So my call to action, real simple, just share Aquafest, and if you have somebody that says, oh, I'd love to be a sponsor, you can reach out to me, reach out to the website, send something, we'll take it from there to contact that individual or company to see what can be done. And same thing, if you have any church organizations or people that are looking for time to be signed off during the summertime for their school hour requirement, great opportunity to get some of that done. We did that with 3 kids a few years ago on the social media side, and they captured probably 2/3 of their entire requirement for the incoming year at Aquafest, because they spent 8 hours a day, 3 days down there. So great, if you have any, great opportunity to get that stuff signed off. We all know that. So when you go to our website now, you'll see a box will pop up, subscribe. So definitely subscribe. We're trying to move away from just the social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and it is something that's at least email driven. We do know that most people have an email that they might read once a week, twice a week, but we do know there are a lot of people that never touch social media. So we've created a subscribe to the newsletter. Apparently I was just told that you'll get great updates from the president. So apparently I have to go write some things to get that over. Yeah, it's I am voluntold all the time by this team. It's amazing. And just one last thing before I close, and I can open up to any kind of questions. What do you guys think of the new logo?
Love it.
A little different than the shrunken fish, which by the way is written in the bylaws that you can't ever get rid of. So we secretly moved it way down in the bottom page. Yeah, it could
You can change the bylaws.
You would be surprised that when I mentioned that, the searing glares and arguments that I got back from people that it's always been this. And if you want to have the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, please say it's always been this way. That just must be so nice. Because it was always that way, Kodak would still be in business. So,
I love film.
do you have any questions at all? Well, we could do that. That was crazy expensive. Yeah. It was, I saw one, I actually got to go to Newland. Man, it was like 500 of these little buggers up there. The coolest thing I've ever seen, I think. Best, but you're at $5,000, you're $5 again. But we like to do something up in the air, visually aerial, I think is a huge part of this. I just don't know if the fireworks are sustainable for a lot of different reasons.
That's where you can put the drunken fish.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, James.
A list of sponsors that you already have, is that available somewhere? Sorry, okay.
People now they are both in kind and both people that donated financially. So still figuring out the vision of, how you really separate you use this tier structure, the super the best of the best, and then I could be the best of the best, so I'm just the best, or three or the best, so I'm just kind of okay, and then I'm just having those tier structures sometimes makes people feel, in my opinion, that they couldn't do enough, or maybe they don't feel like they could do enough, they don't want to do it. So trying to figure out if I want to stack rank. Right now, I kind of don't. I just want to show people that contribute. I mean, if I contribute $50, that's maybe more than I can afford. That somebody that can do $5,000, it might be what they can. But I shouldn't feel less.
In regard to the corporate donator, Boeing, Alaska Airlines, BCU, and Bank of America, the ones that have the ability to come in and be a sponsor for you at $50,000 or $75,000. Like it's Seafair, for example, we have always the one title sponsor, and then other sponsors down below that get it. Major, especially the Boeing one, knowing that a third of our city would have Boeing, it would be the perfect corporate sponsor.
Yeah, and that's a great question. And yes, we tried the title sponsor, and I think we still have some more proving to the community to do, but we do have community transit. We do have Global Bank and some others that have stepped in, like years past, PDD is also a part, but they're $1,000, $1,500. We'd like to have $25,000. Yeah, but we have more.
Yeah, Chris, I want to just mention, one thing that's not on there, that's part of it, and that's the fireman's pancake breakfast.
Oh, yes,
Basically 6 a.m. to noon, Saturday, Sunday. Last year we had up to 2,000 people. It's a donation. We actually make more money on donation than we do from people and it's a great event. It's we doing again at Station 81. And then hopefully a year from now or a year and a half from now, we'll have a new station there. But the one that's there now it's run by our union reps, mainly our produce and stationary people. We report with their insurance.
Yep.
And it's donations, and the money all goes to a nonprofit of your choice, Bird Bud. So that's an amazing event. It's probably one of the best at office.
The two things, one is Oktoberfest, we do have calendar of events, it was listed calendar events. It is part of Oktoberfest, it's not a part of different but the same. We work very closely together, and then maybe real quick, Jim, you can just 30-second snippet, because a good friend of mine, Chevy Shevin, works in together. And he was telling me that I played in a golf tournament, and they've raised money for something that allows these firefighters at a service call where something is done, maybe a house was burned, that they have funds that they can allocate for things. So just maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, they really coordinate with Red Cross. They do have funds that they can to give out right at the fire scene and stuff for somebody to get a hotel room, we'll get food, we'll get clothing, we'll medical care, kind of on the spot kind of thing, because as you can imagine, it's been through a fire like that, or even a medical event, it's pretty tragic, it's pretty life changing, and so anytime we can help out along with the Red Cross, it's a team effort. So there's a lot of things to go on. Maybe everybody doesn't know about.
Yeah.
The other thing that we provide is, we're getting a lot better at providing, it's called community resource paramedicine, where you have actually a social worker or somebody that calls on people when they have a disaster like that. And as you know, if you have your opinion of an emergency, call 911 and we show up. But oftentimes, the firefighters and paramedics aren't the ones. We're trying to do a better job in immediately curbing that, if you will, to somebody to take care of Meals on Wheels, clothing, those kind of things, put our men in back in.
Well, thank you for that. I didn't realize that. Shannon was telling me about. What an
Yeah.
amazing thing that they have the discretion to allocate funds for immediate.
And the people on the rigs have that.
So could you just maybe tell us how our club's participating this year and how some of our club members, like you're obviously quite involved, there are other people here that are involved. Feel how we support this.
Yeah, so it's best food location. That's really appreciated. It's not gonna, it's any dollar amount helps, right? So super that. But it's just the fact that you allow us to come in, talk and communicate and respond. The biggest thing. It's hard because I don't want to say Rotary needs some help over here because you're struggling to get your help from your event, right? So it doesn't seem responsible for me to do that. I know that you're there in spirit, mind, heart, soul, and that you do love the event, you participate for a long time. That's what really matters to me is as you know, in the social media, you can get a whole bunch of negatives, 1,000 people. You get 50 negatives if you're the worst. I mean, I can come actually leave the city years ago and took it for Carnival. It was really bad. To the other 900 and some odd people that think it's fantastic, but they just don't waste their time on doing that. And it's just going to be a back and forth. Sometimes you might get, hey, this is a great, thank you. But as we all know, the negative trumps the positive. So it is nice to hear from people that they do appreciate the event. I know it is a disruptor, but I think it's important to keep nutrition.
Any idea what's happening or not happening with beer garden?
No beer garden. Yep.
So like Stevens Brewery, not gonna do anything?
Nope. The Kiwanis obviously has taken a step back, and some of the people that were a part of, or who was kind of the main person behind the Kiwanis and the beer garden is now on. He's kind of moved on and handed his stuff over, and that group is changing out. I'm not quite sure if the landowner, they're not super big fans of Aquafest. The owner does sit there and polices parking, not big super fans of the city. However, have you made any headway in parking? No. He said no. Yeah, so it's just gonna sit there. Yeah. So it's too bad. We are gonna have the Rustic Fork is gonna be doing our version of a small beer and wine garden. So it's gonna be the observation deck. Capacity is only about 35 people or so. So it's not anything like what was across the way. But again, Kelsey is going to do a little bit of a polish or back to this.
Well, thanks for all you're doing.
Yeah.
It's just fabulous and amazing. I have one suggestion because, you know, with that date change, I think, like it's there on the website, but it's small. It's really beneficial to have it be bigger.
Yep.
Right over there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great. Because we're still getting a lot of it's not, when is it gonna be this year?
Right.
It's gonna be taken out based on starts up in stands. They can swing into our small location for a few days, and they go to finish off at 5 days here, probably.
Yep.
And then they go down, I think that's Clackamas, Oregon, for like a big state fair thing, so that's when the all hands on deck, so they're starting up north, slightly moving their way down south, and so they couldn't do Martin because it wouldn't align with their southward movement and it interfered with their biggest event.
There's the least to be.
And last week,
Do you think it might stay that kind of future, or is that not known?
unless 5 days decides to. You might be able to move the days around. Probably.
We get more carnival companies.
Use it's usually.
Posters.
Yeah, so we were supposed to make some flyers, so. Flyers with the little thing. We have, she have.
My wife is fine.
What about posters though? They're bigger, more visually attractive.
Just because of the expensive.
I get it. Old school.
We are. A lady came to follow the Fest picture last year and he happened to see me sitting there watching.
Yeah.
She is gonna do another one. And the intent is not for my ego, the intent is to take however long she decides that she wants to do this. To donate it to the museum, so they have more memorabilia lines, right? We want to be given their shirt every year, which is pretty generic and pretty basic. But we just thought it'd be kind of nice to, so we have a new museum with maybe a lot more space. Be kind of fun to just do more of this. Don't know what she's gonna paint, who she's gonna paint, but she does want to do something again.
Cool. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, just don't be surprised if I say paint anyone six. Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah, today's quote, growth is stepping over the things you used to thought.
So go out. Here's my hand results.
Well, I thought that would be leaving them, but we've got one that, no on all of the back page, but otherwise, so if I'm elected. So. Over there. Wired. Yeah, it's me.
You know? They offered us this room whenever we want. We were concerned that they're probably, I mean, that meeting 2-3 weeks ago, I don't think it would, this would hold up. Somebody reaching out.